What's up, guys and gals? It's me, your old buddy Mr. Moose, back with another edition of Air Hauler 2. So we're going to pick up where we left off in Meridian, Mississippi. You may remember in our last episode, we hauled a load of building supplies here, made $4,300, which was really nice. Took a courtesy car, had a little lunch, and now we're ready to fly on back to the Gulf Coast. So if we check on where we're at here, you'll see jobs-wise, there is only one job. It is the one headed back to Kilo Juliet, Kilo Alpha, and it is a load of cosmetics. 330 pounds, a light load, but it's going to pay very well. We'll make $42.90 on this one. So that is the job we're going to take. We'll go ahead and accept that task. Yes, we're going to take that. We're going to hit fly now. It's going to ask us what plane to use. Of course, we are using the Cessna C-172. We're going to load up. So we just click on our load, tell it to put it on the plane. We're good there. We've got a short hop, just 134 nautical miles. We've still got plenty of fuel in the tank, so we don't even have to top off the tanks. We're good to go. Flight plan wise, KMEI, Kilo Mike Echo India is where we're going to start off at our last position. We're not going to move the plane. We're just going to leave it right where it's at in general aviation. Flying out. The time for flying this out is, let's see. We landed around 6 in the morning. We went and had a little eats. Let's say we're flying out around 10 a.m. So we need this time to be p.m. of course, because it is UTC time, and for it to be about 9 or 10 o'clock my time, it needs to be let me think. I got to come back 6 hours, right? So 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 4 p.m. Let's set it up for 4 p.m. You know, I can always modify this in game too if I wanted to. I could just go to world and set the time, and that would be fine. So that's no big deal. Cruising altitude. This time we're only going to go to 5,000 feet. I don't know, let's do 6,000. We'll do 6,000 feet. We're pretty light. Let's do 8. We're light. We don't have a whole lot on here. We can do that just fine. Alright guys, I've gone in, amended my flight plan, and gotten everything set up so we are good to go. We're here in Meridian, Mississippi. The plane is right where we left it in general aviation, and pretty much we're good to go. I've checked out the cargo. I've balanced the load. I've loaded in the A2A Cessna 172. So we're good to fly it over the stock version. And I've walked around, done the pre-flight check. So at this point, we're ready to jump inside and get the baby fired up and get on our way. So I'll zoom out a little bit for you guys. We'll go ahead and turn on our fuel valve. Make sure that our fuel selector is to both. Then I'm going to come back in here a little bit so you guys can see the instruments. I'm going to lock off my track IR, and then we'll go ahead and go through the startup procedures. We want to go ahead and turn our master switch on, turn our beacon on so everybody knows what we're doing. We will go ahead and turn on our fuel pump. And again, we're watching our fuel gauge. We're going to advance our fuel to make sure that we see that fuel pressure come on up. We do. And we'll go ahead and turn that off. Turn my beacons back on. Hit the wrong button. So let's go ahead and crack our throttle now up to about 30%. And get that ready to go. And at this point, we should be able to start this guy up and get going. So let's go ahead and turn the ignition switch over. Advance the mixture. She is started up. You just don't know how good it feels to get that started right off the bat when, you know, after the first day of getting this plane, I killed the battery so many times. Alright, so we'll go ahead and let our engine warm up, get a little temperature into it. It shouldn't be too bad because we've already flown this plane. We'll go ahead and get our radios tuned up. I'm going to go ahead and preset my my ILS for my home airport because I know that's where we're headed to, and I know my ILS for that. There we go. 1.7. Set that. We'll set that. We're good to go on that. 6,000 feet. I've got that ready to go. So let's go ahead and contact ATC, get our approval for our ground flight. Actually, let's turn to airport traffic and get some information about the airport, find out what the active runway is, weather, all that good stuff.
Meridian Airport information, Foxtrot 1553 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility greater than 20 miles. Sky conditions. Few clouds at 1,400. Temperature 262.21. Altimeter 3012. ILS runway 1 in use. Landing and departing. Runway 1. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Foxtrot. Meridian Airport information, Foxtrot 1553 Zulu. Wind.
Alright, so out of that we basically found the winds are calm. Air on runway 1 is the active runway, so we'll be taking off to the north when it is time to get out of here. We'll go ahead and request our IFR clearance and get that going.
7274 Hotel, ready to copy IFR clearance to Kilo Juliet, Kilo Alpha. Cessna November 7274 Hotel is cleared to Kilo Juliet, Kilo Alpha Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain 6,000. Departure frequency is 120.5, squawk 1424.
1424. There we go. Acknowledge that.
Cessna November 7274 Hotel cleared to Kilo Juliet, Kilo Alpha Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain 6,000. Departure on 120.5, squawk 1424. Cessna 74 Hotel, feedback correct. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Alright, cool. Alright, we got all that done. So we're just about ready to get out of here. Oh, let's make sure that everything else is checked and ready to go. Get rid of that for a second. Gonna go open my window up for a little bit. Get a little air in here before we get going. Alright. Verify my elevator is ready for takeoff. That's good. Everything looks good. So yeah, we're just about ready to start this little journey here. I will go ahead and turn on some rotators and get my taxi lights on, all that good stuff. And we'll go ahead and request taxi information.
Meridian ground, Cessna November 7274 Hotel with Foxtrot, ready to taxi IFR. Cessna November 7274 Hotel, taxi to and hold short of runway 1 using taxiway Bravo Alpha Alpha 2. Contact tower on 119.8 when ready.
Alright, acknowledge that.
Taxi to and hold short runway 1. Use taxiway Bravo Alpha Alpha 2. Cessna 74 Hotel.
Alright, so we'll start our pushback. And as soon as we get back enough, we'll rotate around and we will get headed out. And we will get ready to roll. So anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm trying to get a little bit shorter videos going now. The first few videos had a lot more information in them because we were trying to cover the program for Air Hauler as well as do the flights. But I think now that I've covered the basics of Air Hauler, we should be able to get more information or less information at the beginning and really be able to get into the flights more. So alright, so let's get out here and get headed out to the taxiway. Make our way down to runway 1. And since the winds are real calm, we'll just head on down there. And when we hold up short, we'll do our engine run up, check our magnetos at that point. We should be good to go. Alright, so we're going B and A2. I'm going to try to do this without progressive taxi on. If I have any issues, I can always flip it on. Alright, we'll head on out here and make our way to the runway. Yeah, you guys have to let me know though about the videos. I'm new to doing the whole flight sim thing for videos. I don't know how much you guys want to see of the flight, or how much of the flight you even care about. Is it more about just seeing the takeoff, the procedures getting up to it, then the takeoff and the landing, or do you guys actually want to see some of the flight? Let me know in the comments, that way I know. I want to try to cover as much as the air hauler portion of the program as well, without really bloating all the videos with all of that. So it's a balancing act that I really don't know where it is, but we'll figure it out. Alright, so A goes off to the left here. It does look like. Let's see. That's B2. So we're going A to A2. This should get us all the way down to the end of the runway and ready to take off. So I think I've just about decided to sink the money in, buy myself a yoke and a pair of rudder pedals. I'm okay with the joystick, as I talked about in our previous video about using the joystick for controls, but I just think I'll have much more control if I get a yoke and with a throttle quadrant and pedals. So I think that's what I'm going to end up spending money on instead of getting the HOTAS right now. A HOTAS would be great. I'd love to have one. But I have dual joysticks, so most of the other games that I play where I need the dual joysticks and multiple control axes, I can do it with the dual joysticks. So I think my next purchase will be a yoke, pedals, and throttle quadrant. Oh, what do we got here? What is this one? That's A3. So one more and we will be ready to go. Probably running all the way down to the very end of the runway. A little bit off of our taxi lane. I'll just bring it back up to center and walk the line here. Where are my people at? I don't see anybody inside. I guess I only see them when I'm outside. Yeah, there they are, sitting inside. Anyways, if you want to see how we got to Meridian, make sure you check out my video on coming to Meridian. Alright, slow up here. And we'll go ahead and make our turn here. And we will hold up here at the line, and this is where we'll do our run up for our engines and just check and make sure that we have our magnetos good, and then we'll get going. Alright, so brake. Set our brake real quick. Keep that engine running about 1,000 RPMs. There we go. Alright, so real quick, let's go ahead. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And again, we're going to run our RPMs up to 1,800. And then we're going to turn the key so that we check our magnetos to see if we have that 50 drop. Alright. First magneto. There's the drop. Bring it back and let it stabilize. Yep. And the drop on both of them is good. So looking good. Double check our air pressures, our temperature, and our manifold pressure. Everything's looking good, so we're in the green. So we'll go ahead and switch off our taxi lights, turn on our landing lights. We're going to go ahead and drop down our flaps 1. Get that good. And make sure our mixture is rich, full rich. And basically at this point we're good to go. All we have to do is contact ATC and get approval to take off.
Meridian Tower, Cessna, November 7274, Hotel, ready for IFR departure, runway 1. Cessna, November 7274, Hotel, cleared for takeoff, runway 1.
Alright, acknowledge that.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 1. Cessna, November 7274, Hotel.
Alright, we'll make our way out into the runway. I'm going to go ahead and close my window real quick. There we go. Get out here and get positioned up properly on the runway, and then we'll make our way up. We're going up to 6,000 feet. I'm going to make my climb 300, maybe 400 feet per minute on that, so should be pretty good. Should be a nice smooth flight. Alright, well, let's get that lined up a little bit more. There we go. Off we roll. Alright, our airspeed is live. Let's go 60. And we're up. Let's get her up and in the air. Looking good. So far, so good. I grab a little airspeed here. Reduce my flaps back.
Contact Meridian departure flight 120.5. 120.5. FSX 74 Hotel.
Alright. So we'll turn over to Meridian departure. I need to roll back a little bit on course here.
Meridian departure. FSX November 7274 Hotel is climbing to 1,000. November 727 Fort Hotel, Meridian departure, Roger, altimeter 3013, Cessna 7 Fort Hotel, turn right heading 170, proceed on course 516, 6000.
Alright, so we're going to 170 and climbing to 6,000. Oops, forgot to acknowledge that. Our rate of climb is pretty good right now. I want to bring it down just a little bit. And I want to bring my throttle back just a little bit as well once I get my turn taken. Okay, let's bring that throttle back a little bit. And we'll start to level off a little bit. Tune up our elevation. Get my heading bug set here. I'm a little bit off course. Need to come up just a little bit. There we go. Level out. Trim up just a little bit. And we are looking pretty good. I'm going to increase my climb just a little bit. Around 400 or 500 feet per minute is about what I want. And just maintain my airspeed. That is looking good right there, actually. Alright, so with that stabilized and the plane under control, I'm going to look down here real quick at our radio stack. And we'll go ahead and get our autopilot switched over. Come on, turn on. Lock in our heading. Arm that, and we'll say to climb at 400 feet per minute. And we should be good to go. Passing 3,000, I'm going to go ahead and start to lean out our mixture a little bit. Alright, so we're at 170 and we resume our own navigation, which means I'm going to be using the GPS to navigate. So let's pull it up and let you guys see our course. And I actually should start veering over a little bit because I'm going to be off the course quite a bit here if we keep on this heading. So let's go ahead and rotate on over to about, let's say a course of about 180. Basically taking our due south. If we do that, we should intersect this line and be able to take that. Once I intersect the line, then I'll go ahead and take GPS and I'll switch over from heading to GPS and let the GPS take over the navigation. So for now, I'm going to keep on on my heading bug and let it maintain the flight for the plane, or the course for the plane. Looking good though. Go ahead and turn my landing lights off. I don't need them. General aviation, you don't need the landing lights on all the time. More visibility never hurts, but there's no need for it. Now, if I was doing commercial aviation, I have to leave them on until I hit 10,000 feet. Watch my airspeed a little bit. It's starting to wander a little bit. I'm going to increase my throttle just a little bit. Get a little bit more power to the engine as we continue our climb. I was flying the other day on this particular plane, and I set the autopilot up to do its climb, set it up for about 400 feet per minute, and had a good 90 knot airspeed. And then all of a sudden I look around and it's down to 60 knots and just about to go into a stall, and the autopilot had pushed it up to almost like 1,000 feet per minute, which is just crazy for this aircraft. And I thought for sure that was it. I had to switch the autopilot off real quick and take over and finish up getting on elevation, then turn the autopilot. So I'm a little gun shy of this autopilot. It's I've had 3 little issues with it where it's just kind of scared me a little bit. So far it's doing all right though. All of them had to do with elevation issues. I was at 8,000 feet and coming out of 8,000 feet, coming down to 1,600 the other day, and it got down to 1,600 and just kept on going. It didn't even bother leveling off, and scared the freak out of me. Alright, our airspeed's creeping up, so I'm going to go ahead and throttle back a little bit.
November 89502 is Meridian departure, clock 0731. Clock 0731.
We're still climbing, but I don't want to get too much airspeed built up.
Altimeter 3013. Piper 65 Quebec. Traffic is 8 o'clock, 4 miles at 2,900. Piper Archer, report them in sight.
Check our GPS, see where we're at. We've got quite a bit to go. Got quite a bit a ways to go until we hit our next intersection. So I should be able to just creep up on this line and then take it once we get to it. Alright. Oh, speed's creeping down on me again. Guess I'm going to leave the throttle up a little bit until we get up to about 6,000 feet. We've only got another 1,000 feet to go, so let's increase that throttle, get on up on cruising altitude, and then I can pull it back some. Alright, let me take off the track IR lock so we can look around, see what we got for scenery. Very nice. Few clouds. Yeah, we'll probably run into some. I picked 6,000 feet because looking at the weather, I was seeing clouds around 8,000, so I thought I'd go ahead and fly just under them. So that's why we're running at 6,000 feet of elevation on this flight versus 8,000. But it should be a beautiful day for the flight. For the most part, not a whole lot of wind. I was looking at the wind forecast for going into the home airport at Kilo Juliet Kilo Alpha, and we're looking at about a 12 knot wind there, so otherwise should be a pretty good flight. I have that in Active Sky Next for weather, so I do have that running in the background, so that's what's generating all the weather for the flight is Active Sky Next now. Slowly introducing some of my mods back into Flight Sim and getting it going. Alright, we're creeping up on 6,000. So once we get on 6,000, I'll adjust the motor again, trim it out, and we should be good to go. Alright, we should level out right here. Alright, 6,000 feet. So let's go take care of the engine a little bit. Watch our airspeed. I want to cruise about 90 knots. I'm not in any hurry to get there. I want to take care of my engine. Again, this is a new aircraft. It's only got a couple hours on it, so I don't want to push it too hard. Maybe, I think it's got like 4 hours. And we'll go ahead and tune out the mixture, lean it out a bit, save some fuel and keep from fouling out our plugs. Probably about a 50% mixture is what I really need. That sounds pretty good. Looks good on there, sounds good, pretty good. So indicated airspeed right now is 95 knots. That's not too bad, we can deal with that. Bring our GPS up. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that force on over a little bit. And start cheating a little bit over to our indicated course. We don't have to be dead on it though. Nice. Alright, so we're going to contact Memphis Center. I am going to be adding in Vox ATC for air traffic control. I just want to work with it a little bit and get comfortable with it before I start doing it in any kind of videos and such. Oh, update our altimeter. There we go. All right. So at this point, we're pretty good to go. We just get to cruise on along and make our way down south to the coast. And I will periodically cut in some different scenery for you guys. And then we'll get on the final, and I'll join you guys then. One last thing, though, I do want to go ahead and intersect this route. So we're pretty close to it. If I look at it now, we're just about right on the line. So I am going to go ahead and switch it over from manual flight or over from the heading bug. I'm going to switch over to the GPS. And to do that, I need to make sure that up here I need to make sure that I'm selected to GPS mode. Nav goes off of your navigation radios, GPS goes off of the GPS. And then I just come down here and switch from heading to nav. And we are good to go. The plane's going to correct itself a little bit and bring us on to our GPS course. And that's about it. I could pop open a newspaper right now, and just as long as I monitor the airspeed, I pretty much can relax for the rest of the flight. So we'll take in the scenery and we'll join it. It's about a 2.5-hour flight to the Gulf Coast, and I will, like I said, I'll see you guys when we start on our descent. Well, guys, looks like my plan to avoid the clouds at 6,000 feet is a little bit off. I am going to fly into a little bit of puffy stuff here, but nothing too bad. Quick update for you. We're about an hour into the flight now, and some 85 miles probably off from our destination. If we bring up our GPS, the first thing you're going to notice is we are off course, and that is because ATS called and put us on a heading of 120, basically paralleling our course. It's not unexpected for them to do that. With runway coming in on 27 for ILS into our base airport, they're going to want to bring us around here and bring us around on final. So it usually happens when I'm coming in this way, so not unexpected. So just to bring you up to date on where we're at, but so far everything is going really well. We're cruising along at 95 knots indicated airspeed. I'm using about 85% throttle. See if I can get all this to lock in, and I'll give you guys the real numbers here. 85% on the throttle, running about a 56% mixture for 95 knots indicated airspeed. So we're moving along. If we look at the GPS, our ground speed is about 175 knots. So we're doing pretty well. We should be probably about 20 more minutes, 30 more minutes, and we'll be ready for our descent in, and I will see you guys there. Well, guys, if you look out the windscreen, you will see the ocean out in front of us, or actually the Gulf, as we make our way towards our destination. Over here is off on the horizon All right, there's our information to go ahead and descend down to 1600. Let's go ahead and acknowledge that.
1600. FSX 74 Hotel.
Let's go ahead and make our rate of descent down. And check that down to 1,600. All right. And let's see what we got for a rate of descent here. I'm bringing that down at about 500 feet per minute. I don't want to do too much. All right. Acknowledge that. Throttle back. We don't want to overspeed while we're coming down, so cut that throttle way back. Contact Pensacola approach.
Pensacola approach. Cessna November 7274 Hotel is at 5,700, descending 1,600. Cessna November 7274 Hotel, Pensacola approach. Roger, officer 3014.
Check our altimeter, make sure they're set right. And again, once again, I'm going to check my nav, make sure it's set up right. I did switch it back from GPS. I'm going to go hit the nav 1 just to see if the radio starts chirping at us. And we should be good though on our approach in. Bring that motor back just a little bit more. Take a nice gradual descent down. I don't want to go too fast on my descent. Like I said, the other day I had some issues coming down. I tried coming down at about 1,000 feet per minute with this plane, and it didn't like that. So I'm going to keep it right around 500 feet per minute. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and richen my mixture up. Sure, I'll just fall like a stone right out of the sky for you guys. I'll take it to 700, and I'll keep an eye on my altimeter when I start getting down around 2,600. I'll go ahead and shallow out the descent. They just like for me to come down like a brick. Go ahead and turn our landing lights on, and we'll get ready for our approach. Let's go ahead and set some flaps in as well while we're at it. That'll help slow us down a little bit. All right. So we're basically coming in now over what is Alberta, and this area over here, Alberta and the Lillian area. And this bridge right here is Highway 98. That brings you from Lillian in, and the Florida line is right here.
Pensacola's approach, orbit 745 east.
Pensacola's over here.
300, descending 6,000. Orbit 745 east. Pensacola's approach, roger. Altimeter 3014. Orbit 745 east. Contact Sherman approach on 120.05.
Alright, coming up on 3,000.
120.05. Orbit 745 east.
Go ahead and lock in so I've got a little bit of view over my controls here. I'm going to start rolling a little throttle in here.
Hotel, turnpike heading 185, descend and maintain 1,600. 774 Hotel, turnpike heading 215, descend and maintain 1,600.
Alright.
Turn right heading 215, descend and maintain 1,600. Cessna 74 Hotel.
So we're coming to 215. I'm going to go ahead and add some power into it as we start to shallow up a little bit here. There we go. Shallow up that descent a little bit. Make our way in. This is going to basically vector us out to the coast, and then it'll bring us in somewhere around 2-4. Alright, so now we're going to turn us back out. While we spool off a little more altitude, I guess they weren't happy with that. Since I shallowed things up a little bit, that threw them off.
Hotel, please expedite your descent at 1,600.
Seriously. They just want me to come on down like a brick. .700 feet per minute is probably a good with this plane, but again, I'm just getting used to this one, so I tend to be a little bit more meek with it until I get it all shaken out and find out what she'll do. A little gun shy of her, seeing as I've had a couple of issues with the AP, but alright, there we are at 1,600. To bring us on up. Give it a little more power. And I'm going to bring my speed down to about 80 knots for my approach. Just gradually do that. Alright, they should give us a course correction here to about 240 pretty quick. Alright. That's good. So we'll go ahead and turn over, announce our position. All right. And we'll make our approach in. I'm going to leave it on the AP for a bit and bring ourselves over to the localizer, and then I'll take over controls and bring us in. We're still a little bit faster than I want to be. I'll probably add in a second stage of flaps here in a minute and bring that speed down some. Wait until we get on the localizer. Actually, I think we've passed the localizer. There we go. I flew a little bit past it. Alright, that'll bring us back into it. I was yakking and not paying attention. So I flipped over to the nav radio now. We're flying in on the nav radio. And basically we'll follow that in. I'm going to let that establish us up on the runway. And then bring us in that way. Alright, maybe go ahead and add a little more flaps in and adjust my speed. You can see the runway right up here. And then we'll go ahead and announce we're on final.
US Alpha traffic, Cessna, November 727, Port Hotel is on final, runway 27, to land.
Looking good, about 70 knots. We'll bring her in. And then we'll take the glide slope and go from there. There's a 12-knot crosswind today, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off the autopilot a little bit early so I can get a feel for the aircraft. And bring her in. Let's go ahead and bring her off. I'm going to trim up the aircraft a little bit. And we should be good. Alright, I've got the stick, and I'll just keep her steady, creep over here just a little bit, bring myself onto the runway, and get ready to intercept the glide slope. And basically with the plane flying nice and level, I'm just going to use the throttle to try to control my glide and just make slight course adjustments heading wise to bring myself lined up to the runway. And hopefully I stick the real landing and get myself a nice greaser landing. There's still a little bit left to center on the runway. Glide slope is coming down for us. I see one white light. Throttle back a little bit. Not too much though. Still a little bit under it. Coming up on it now. Alright, bring our course back to 2.7 and line up. A little over the slope now, so cut the power a little bit. There we go. Just keeping an eye on my glide slope here. Backing the engine down just a little bit. See if I can come back to it. There we go. A little bit high and crosswind there. Alright, we're looking good. I'm still just a bit high. There we go. Last little bit of flaps in there. Oh, come on.
500.
Good airspeed. Things look good. I'm creeping a little bit below the glide slope, but that's alright. At this point, should be able to just drift right on in. I'll give it a little bit of power.
Minimums.
Come on, get on the center line here. Little bit high, but we'll be alright. I don't really want a balloon, so I'm just going to kind of bring her in. Flare a little bit.
20.
Oh, maybe a little rougher than I wanted it to be, but still pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Pretty good. We may miss that. Yep. Had to fly it a little on to get a nice smooth landing, but that's alright. We had plenty of runway. Alright, we're down. Let's go ahead and get our flaps retracted. Like I said, they're not all pretty, but they're good enough to get us down. And while I taxi to the end of the runway, let's go ahead and watch the replay on that landing. I'm gonna go ahead and announce that I'm clear of the runway.
Hilo Juliet, Hilo Alpha, traffic, Cessna, November 7274 Hotel is clear of the runway.
There we go. Turn my taxi lights on. And we are good to go. So anyways, not a horrible landing. It gets us here and then we can get paid, so that's the most important thing. Oh, I overshot where I wanted to go. A little too much speed on there. I still got to work on my taxi speeds. Make sure that I'm not going too fast. Alright, bring us up here. And look for that. There we go. Pull her up. Lock our brakes. Yeah, we're good to go. Let's go ahead and turn off the key. There we go. And we'll be prompted to go sell our load. All right, guys, we're back in the Air Handler 2 software, and we are ready to get paid. So we'll go to Cargo Fuel and Loading, select our load. We'll go ahead and unload that, get paid. Very nice. All right, we can just go ahead and review the stats that we want to see. So we look at it and basically come on down here to the bottom. You'll see that our flight time was 138 or 1 hour and 38 minutes. And again, we had the greaser landing, which is always good because that's what we're shooting for. The better our landings, the better our reputation, as well as we don't damage the aircraft, and damaging the aircraft costs money, and yeah, we don't want to do that. So if we go ahead and now and look at our company information, we are doing pretty darn good financially. We are now sitting at 114,000 with 921 extra money in there. Very nice. That particular load made us $4,290. We had to pay 14 point landing fees. That's weird. Okay, so here's the little issue that I have. I recorded the landing of the flight. I landed and I recorded the landing of the flight twice. It charged me each time for landing fees. That's a little bizarre. Interesting. Keep a note of that. All right, so that's about it. Let's see. Other than that, our reputation should be going up as far as that goes as well. So we should be in pretty good shape. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the flight, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you consider giving it a like, maybe even sharing it with your friends. It does help me out a tremendous amount and is greatly appreciated. Also, leave some comments down below. That's really the only way I can gauge if you guys are enjoying what's being put out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want daily notifications. I try to do a new video each and every day. Also, if you want to stay in touch with me and find out what's going on, our social links are down in the bottom left-hand corner. Twitter is where I usually announce schedule changes, live streams, and new video releases. Facebook's a great way to get in touch with me if you have any questions to ask. And of course, I am trying to get to 1,000 followers on Google+, which I know I'll probably be old and gray before that happens. But if you can jump over there and follow me, it would be super awesome. So if you like today's video, there's a whole lot more content on the channel. I hope you'll browse through it, find something to keep yourself entertained until the next video or live stream. Speaking of live streams, I try to do them nightly around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until the next time, thanks again for watching. See you soon.